Welcome to the Slade Ham experiment. I'm trying to get an episode in this week while I got time. It's right before the Whiskey Brothers episodes tonight. I've got to record with them. I've got there were two fruit flies, and I'm not sure where they came from, but they have chosen to attack all at the same time while I'm trying to do this episode. I have some things to talk. I'm launching a Kickstarter for my comedy special. So let's begin there. I want to talk about some of the pitfalls of doing something like that. I want to give you some advice if you're thinking about doing something like that. I want to tell you some of the things I've done very, very incorrectly already. And then I want to talk a little bit about why we don't do some of what we don't do. So cheers. I should have heated this coffee back up before the episode started. I'm in a mental, this week is like one of those, I'm in a great place, but I'm also on the downslope of some frustration. I was out at a big event here in Texas this weekend, Bikes on the Bayou. And I won't go into details on this particular person for specific reasons, but I do want to share a conversation that went on. There was a guy who was out there with do you see that fruit fly? I'm gonna ha! One shot, one kill. Sorry, there's still one left. There was a guy out there representing a company that shall remain nameless, and he had the opportunity to put some big, tall banners up near the stage. Sponsorship opportunity, some exposure. Now, the entire event was sponsored by Budweiser and Bud Light. So also on the side of the stage were some flags representing Bud Light. So when the guy declined, the immediate question became, well, why? Why, sir? Why would you turn that opportunity down? Well, just stuff. All right, really? Well, elaborate. Because you know where it's going, right? You know where it's going. They support. I was gone when all of this nonsense went down, but apparently Bud Light did something, an ad camp. I don't. It so doesn't matter. But this guy wouldn't shut up about gay beer or whatever was going on, which prompted me to poke and prod a little bit because I'm interested in your ideology if you believe this way. I'm listening for the parroted remarks that you've picked up from likely Fox News or Truth Network or Newsmax or one of those sources. Let's be honest, they're not your words. And it went quickly from, because the dude knew, and this is where I'm gonna be ignorant. I don't know who the trans athlete is that Bud Light sent some beer to or made a commemorative package for or ran a commercial for. I don't know what happened. I don't care what happened, which is why I don't know what happened. So this guy knew the name of the athlete, knew the incident that had happened. I mean, all stuff you would really have to dig in deep to learn. I mean, I'm in comedy. My job is to write about this kind of stuff. And I've managed to not actively avoid, but just the information's not in my head. So I know it's navigable. But this dude had latched on to it. Well, that's a slippery slope. And then what about the kids? What about the kids? And I said, well, what about the kids? He said, they're being exposed to that in the schools with the reading hours and okay. So one, I've never seen this. I know it exists. I'm sure it exists more because people said it shouldn't exist. And that generally makes things more prevalent. When you say don't do this, people tend to want to do it. But even then, I'm yet to encounter a drag story hour. I'm sure they're out there. 2, 3, I don't know what number I'm on. And this is what I told the gentleman. I said, look, perhaps I am speaking out of turn. It's very possible. I don't have children. I can only imagine having children. I have spoken about it plenty of times before. Nieces and nephews that I consider almost family. Hey, I think I found the other bug who landed in my coffee. That was very rude of you, bug. Sad face. I won't be enjoying the rest of that. I know, it's just extra protein, but shut up. I said, I don't have children. I'm not going to speculate, but I'm going to speculate. They go, and maybe you have kids, so I'm definitely talking out of turn if you do. I go, but I would like to think that if I did have children, everything I'd instilled in them over the course of their lives might, and this is me guessing because I don't know, might take precedent in their soft little child head over anything that they might be exposed to once in school. This is a little fresh because right here in Houston, Spring Branch Middle School, I believe, they were scheduled to go see James and the Giant Peach, the Roald Dahl classic. If you don't know it, it's a wonderful read. There was a movie version of it, but it's a fantastic story. The company producing the play has actors and actresses playing non-gender dudes playing chicks and chicks playing dudes, vice versa, right? And the kerfluffle was when someone related to the school and this field trip got wind of the fact that perhaps people were playing genders different. I don't know what they heard, but they called the box office that's showing this play. This is right here in Houston. And they were like, yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, people are playing parts of all sorts. Why would you deny that? And then the school was like, oh, no, we're going to subject our kids to this. Now, I don't know if you know anything about theater, but that's not new. In fact, it's literally as old as theater. The first plays had no women. They had just dudes playing all the roles, all the parts, all of them. Just putting on masks and using different voices. It's literally the oldest thing in the history of theater. So now, for whatever the reasons, that's not being done. So I am amused by all of this. And as I have this conversation with this dude who is representing this company that doesn't want to be even adjacent to Bud Light for reasons that confuse me. And I just explain all of this to him, and I go, so, where is the real impact? How is this affect? You don't even have, it turns out, children, no kids. So he's angry on behalf of children who aren't his, people he'll never meet. Make sure his signs aren't visible to anyone who accidentally might confuse the service they offer with transvestite or transgender or transmission beer or whatever it is that's got you in a huff. It's not real. It's not. And he thanked me at the end of it. He said, it's good that people like us can have an honest conversation and nobody really gets upset. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, sir. We're not on the same page here. I'm not as afraid as you are of all of the things you're afraid of. And what I ultimately explained to this gentleman, I said, look, I am a bit of a cause. What is the word? I need a word for it. I said cause atheist. That's not the right word. I don't believe in causes. How do you phrase that? To quote Christopher Hitchens, who, if you're unfamiliar with him, very witty, very philosophical. He's very dead also, I'm pretty sure. I think he's dead. He had a quote about atheism. Now, take that for whatever it may be. Don't get all in a also kerfluffle about that. Try and separate what this guy's saying from your own belief system. But what he said regarding atheism, he said, we're all atheists. I just believe in one less God than you, which is really a great quote if you think about it. It's no matter how you feel, it's wildly accurate. It's as my buddy Rob Mungle would point out, most of us don't believe in Thor, right? It's just so I take that quote. I just believe in one less God than you do, and I apply it to social causes. Because no one is behind every cause. No one is losing their mind over every cause. You couldn't. There's too many causes. There's too many things you don't even know about. Not just in your neighborhood or your city, God forbid, but in the country and in other countries and all over the world. There's causes you're not even aware of that haven't rankled you yet today. You only got your head wrapped around a couple of causes. And I simply believe in 2 or 3 less causes than you do. I said, sir, you're conflicted over whether or not your belief system jibes with whatever Bud Light did that never came close to you. Oh, they lost billions of dollars. And tell me how that involves you at all. Well, it's just it could. Okay. I just don't believe in that cause. Same way, there's shit going on in the Sudan right now. It bothers me. I was just kind of right out there. I'm not unaware of it, but I'm also, I can only wake up and be so freaked out about it. You know what I mean? What about people who don't have water in Uganda? It sucks. I don't like it. But I'm not waking up every morning trying to get on a plane and go to Uganda and help these people out. I don't even change my Facebook photo frame. Some of you just went, wait, there's a water problem in Uganda? There's always a water problem in Uganda. I just picked a country and a problem, jam them together, they exist. As human trafficking in Malaysia, that's a problem. 100% without having been to Malaysia nor having been human trafficked. I can promise you human trafficking in Malaysia is a problem. You can pick any sort of problem you want. Inflation in Brazil. I don't know. There's all the problems in all the countries, and we can't care about them all. So I've just chosen to opt out of the last few. That's it. Sir, who's mad about a Bud Light banner being near your product. Ugh. You know what I care about? I care about my comedy special. It's the only thing I'm really concerned about at all. That's what I woke up thinking about this morning. Not this other shit. None of it. Not upset at a James and the Giant Peach play. Not mad at Bud Light for whatever they did to beer. I'm not burning stuff in the streets. I'm not changing my profile pic. Are we over Ukraine yet? Are you guys still there? We still doing blue and yellow photo frames for that? I mean, I don't uncare about these things. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to wake up every day freaking out about them. I do wake up and think about my comedy special. There is a Kickstarter campaign going on for that right now. The special will be called Signal Noise. You've heard me work through some of it on this podcast. It's been fun. Let me show you. I'll show you the Kickstarter video, and then I'll walk through a few of the pitfalls and things that have happened, and just sort of the process. So here's the video. I'll be right back.
As everybody says, I'm missing out, man. If I just raised a kid, I would understand how awesome raising a kid is. Raising a kid's amazing. You should do it. All right. Even God didn't raise the baby. You know what I mean? The most arguably perfect child that has ever walked the planet. And he's like, no. You bring that back when it's 33.
Hi, I'm Slade, and I'm making a comedy special. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 23 years. It's taken me all over the globe, collecting stories and telling jokes in 58 countries on 6 continents, including nearly 50 tours for the United States military. Along the way, I've written a book, I've hosted over 1,000 podcast episodes, I've directed some films, and I've produced a handful of comedy specials. And now, I'm making my own. I'm proud of my body of work, but this is the first time I feel like I've actually got something to say. This new show is fun and playful, but it's also designed to make you feel a little less alone in all of this sensory overwhelm. It's about finding signal in the noise.
Why is every kid in the Golden Corral sticky? Wash thyself. Why is every child so sticky? Is it the chocolate fountain? It's the chocolate fountain. If you eat out of that chocolate fountain, you are a dirty, dirty sumbitch, okay?
I've put together the kind of rewards I would want if I was contributing to a comedy special. Some digital things that don't take up any space, and some physical ones if you want something to put on a shelf. So join me, or don't, and know that I'm probably frantically clicking away, refreshing this window, hoping the number goes up by 1, because fundraising is stressful.
I don't know if you know how those things work, but there is not a fresh chocolate spring making new chocolate. There is no river of chocolate being cleansed by the rocks in the motion. This is simply the same chocolate that goes up and down and over the kid's arm and back and onto your strawberry.
But mainly, I want to give you an opportunity to join me in making a comedy special. Let's make something great together.
The circle of life is very...
All right, so let's start with, I flubbed the launch. How about that? On Monday, I've been very distracted. I got back from Africa last Friday. I had a couple of days runway to take care of a bunch of stuff on a project that I'm removing myself from, but it's taken up a lot of my time, required me to be involved. So I got distracted and didn't do all the stuff I was supposed to do for this launch. Although I did load up my email campaign with the launch screen and everything else. I got it all loaded and scheduled and forgot to unschedule it, so it went out before it was supposed to. Total hiccup. No big deal, but also something you should pay more attention to if you're going to crowdfund something. 2, when you do something like this, all right, and this whole show, I do nothing but talk about how you should get out of your comfort zone, how if you've got something in your dumb little head, you should go make it. That's what we're here for, right? And I sent out, I came back in, I made the whole campaign, and I edited down the video and put all that together, and I sent it out to a handful of people I trust. And this is what you should realize. This is why I say nobody in the world woke up thinking about my special but me today. That's what I'm encouraging you to think about in regard to your own project. Whatever it is you got marinating up there in your skull, in your little brain container, whatever's pinballing. It's yours. It's no one else's. If you go into it expecting other people to care about it as much as you do, you're going to be disappointed. And I don't say that in a curmudgeonly, misanthropic sort of way. I say it in a way that if your expectations aren't there, solely resting on your shoulders, then you're going to be ultimately, inevitably disappointed. Doesn't matter what you do, who you ask, who you enroll. Some people are going to surprise you. Most people are going to do about what you expect. Some people are going to let you down immensely, depending on your expectations. So if you get them all in the middle of the road of, all right, if I get some feedback, I'll just scatter this out amongst enough people that I'll get the feedback I'm looking for. So I sent it out. I have people at the top of my list. My dear friend Jordan Brady, director, big commercial director right now, but also has done feature films, comedy specials. He's extraordinary. I did I Am Battle comic with Jordan. He shot a documentary that we did in Afghanistan, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Jordan's extraordinary. So I sent it to Jordan. And Jordan, naturally the most busy person on the list of people I sent this to, which is why I sent it to him. And he sends back a list of things that he would change, things I should consider, things he really loved. A wonderful, wonderful feedback source. He's who I endeavor to be when people ask me for advice on things. I try to give them something as in-depth as he's given me. His advice was wonderful. I may revisit what he told me and what he didn't. But you saw the special. I'll do it right now. The two of the things we swapped out. I had a different version of the opening clip, the God Baby clip. I had a different version of that shot in Canada, but the problem with it was sort of shot under fluorescent. The lights on a lot of comedy club stages suck, and as did the lighting there. And if you shoot that from a cell phone, sometimes you can get like a flicker. I mean, you get that on a regular camera, but you'll get a flicker or a strobe. It's very distracting. And that video had some of that. Now, I wanted this video to look like I was working on this project, and that this was the open mic, the miking of the new stuff, me working it out. But as Jordan pointed out, it's very hard to ask people for money to make a comedy special when the very first piece of footage you show them is goddamn terrible. So I replaced that, did some changing out. I left in the part. And Jordan thought I should have removed it. And in hindsight, I probably should have pulled it. But I also believe that honesty with an audience is something you should strive for. So I left in the part where I said I'm probably frantically clicking, blah, blah, blah. Because that's the truth. If you're making something, depending on what level you're at, there's some people I know who launch Kickstarters and they're funded within 5 minutes. And sure, maybe one day we'll get there. But for now, I'm trying to get a hold of, the people I can get a hold of. And I'm being honest in how I feel when I'm making this thing. I sent it to, there were several people who sent back what I wanted and what I needed. Hey, this is where it's great. Hey, I appreciated this part. I'm looking for the pinch points. I'm looking for the standout points. That's really what I want when I send it to somebody. Tell me where it was either great or tell me where it was terrible. I believe that the rest of it is probably fine. And there were other people I sent it to who had high expectations from. And I got back messages from them asking me to critique something for them, which I did, and then no response. So that's like your spectrum of people. People are going to quickly involve themselves in what you're doing, and then flitter off to something different, because that's how life works. And you have to understand that when you're fundraising or when you're making a project. I am this one last little fly and me are going to go around the block. I say that there was a post from a friend of mine. She's a comic. She works a lot of cruise ships. And she's posting on Substack. And she posted something. It was the second time she's posted a blog entry in probably 4 months, maybe 5. She's one of these people who used to be really good at it. She was kind of in the same boat I was, either in the MySpace days or the early Facebook blog days or the Tumblr days or wherever we used to blog. Some of us had very big blogging audiences. Mine all existed on MySpace. Hers has existed in a number of places. But her problem and what she questioned was how to be consistent. And she vocalized it. And I instantly caught myself not just empathizing. Oh, my God, I totally feel that. But having a solution and realizing that the only answer to that is to fall back in love with that process. Oh, I love writing these blogs. I love doing this, and I don't care who reads them. I think we're in this current state of being where everything has an immediate feedback system to it. It has a like button. It has a share button. It has all of retweets or whatever it is. You can see the abject failure in what you just created as soon as it goes out of the gate. You post something and a day later it's got 4 likes on Twitter or 1 retweet on Twitter, and it makes you feel like what you said was useless. Therefore, you don't post anymore because why put your uselessness out into the world? And I'm here to tell you that that's not the answer. You got to push past the uselessness. You're trying to build something that when that dam breaks, it's a flood, not just a trickle, not just the one thing you kind of set up. Nobody's getting famous off one video. Nobody's making $1 million off of one blog post. It is a cumulative groundswell. It It is a dike that eventually gives way. It is a flood, a torrent of all the work you put in that comes tumbling back down into your bank account and your happiness account at some point. But you got to do it first because you love it. I'm telling you, the minute you detach, tell you this is where all of my peace comes from. Doesn't sound like it because I sound grumbly when I do this show, but that's just the way it comes out when I talk. The truth is, once I realized that it was not about, if I went to sit back and bitch and complain about all the places I wasn't playing, or the people who weren't returning my phone calls, or the festivals I didn't get into, or the people who weren't shooting my special, or all of this other stuff that you see your friends get, and you go, oh, why not me? I should quit. Oh, they're not paying attention. I'm not going to write anything anymore. It's all of that. You got to get out of your head. You got to turn it into something that is, hey, I'm going to focus on the only thing I've got control over, which is I know how to make a comedy special. I know how to write it. I know how to perform it. And now, after a couple of years really doing some homework and practicing some stuff, I know how to record it and distribute it too. So it's all I care about in this world now, getting things out of my head and out there. And I truthfully, I think I've said it on here before, don't care who sees them anymore. I only care that I make them and I have enough money to live my life. And right now, I'm doing both. So wherever you may sit, wherever you may be, there is happiness to be found, but it requires uncoupling your car from that train of nonsense. Join my Kickstarter, will you? Help me make this. I'd love for you to be a part of it. I'm going to document the process all along the way. You'll be able to get that for free here. To be honest, you can be able to get the comedy special for free when it comes out. You don't have to do jack shit. You can just watch it. But I would love your help. I think it'd be cool. Lots of different options for rewards. Go back and watch the video. Go see the Kickstarter page. The link is down there. I'd love it if you subbed to this channel. I'd love it if you signed up for my newsletter. I'd really love it if you contributed to the Kickstarter. But stick around. Lots more Slade ham in the near future. Probably one less fruit fly if I can get this son of a bitch before the end of the night. And another episode next week, I promise. I'm Slade Ham. I'll see you on another episode of The Experiment.